I was thinking the other day, what does AGT mean during this whole process? I mean, having watched some of the auditions back, the sense of emotion is amplified by like 10, 20. Um, you watch it in a very, very different light because obviously we recorded the show before this all happened. Um, and then when you watch it back, it makes you really like people more. It's probably the best way of describing it. That's the best way I could describe it. We started the auditions literally as we normally would do, with all the judges, and we have like 3,000 people sitting behind us. And then very quickly, we got more and more news about this virus. We started to understand more about it. Then Heidi got sick. One of the producers got sick. So we instantly had to say, you got to go home, stay home till you feel better. And then we start to notice, obviously, the audience numbers getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And then we made the decision, actually, you know what, we'll carry on with no audience, which we did, I think, for 2 days. And then we had to say, that's it, can't do any more than that. I have this huge appreciation for everyone who turned up during the process, not just the people who auditioned, but the people who work on the show. Everyone around us, there was a kind of like a solidarity, which I've never felt that way before. Within one day of Sophia being on the show, it was like, I mean, ironically, she'd gone from a show called Modern Family to AGT, which she described as a new family. She got it within a day. I mean, it's a very daunting job when you actually sit in that seat and people come out there and you're supposed to, you know, be able to judge everything about the huge variety of acts we see. But as I said to her before, you have to judge with your gut feeling, with your heart, as well as your brain. But say what you think the audience at home are thinking. But there is this real warmth about her, great sense of humour. She doesn't take herself too seriously. She's a lot of fun. She got very emotional at times, but very easy to work with. Look, she's one of the biggest stars in the world. So she's the perfect fit. I'm really, really happy. And I'm happy that she's happy. The thing about Heidi is that even though we went through a year without working with her, once she came back, it was like she'd always been there. I mean, that's the great thing about Heidi. She's a professional, and once she got, although she wasn't sitting next to me, she was sitting next to Howie this time. I think they like it for the same reason I do. It's that element of surprise, that belief that you're always going to find that special talent. I describe it as like being a miner, and we're always digging for that diamond. And every so often, that little diamond appears. And when you're there, when you discover that person or that act for the first time, it's the best feeling in the world. You never forget it. I think where we've got to with AGT is this amazing level of trust with the contestants, where they trust us, so therefore we trust them. And when you get people who are flying in 11,000 miles, 7,000 miles, or whatever, even across the country, to the big country, you never take that for granted anymore. I don't take it for granted. So everyone who's there, you go, when they're great, thank you for choosing us. When they've got so many other shows they could be on. The most fulfilling thing, I guess, is the fact that we're still here 15 years later, because there was a really good chance at the beginning that no one was going to buy this show. So I'd almost written it off because no one would buy it. And thank God NBC bought it. And now we're having this conversation in my pajamas now, 15 years later, and it's still on the air. And filming it is fun, watching it back is fun, and now, even more so seeing how it can change people's lives, genuinely. It's actually quite incredible. I've realised through this whole process that health, looking after each other is your number one priority in life. And things that I used to wind me up or worry me, hence me doing this interview in my pajamas, do not worry me in the same way as they used to before. And you just realise how much you care for other people, and likewise how much other people care for you. So if there is a positive to come from that, it is that, and please God, we never go through this again.